Okay, let's see, new week. Start the music. Alright, cool. And we're live again. Okay. So, last week we did a lot of work on the hair. We cleaned up the mask by quite a bit. Fixed up the ears. Overall, I'm quite happy with it. And I think it's time to work on the mouth a little bit. Okay, so let's see how we're gonna tackle this one. Because I believe in a previous stream I mentioned that I tend to keep this step until like I re-topologized it. So that I would, what's the word? There have been projects where I would get to this stage where the body is blocked out and we have primary and secondary shapes, but it's not completely cleaned up. If you zoom in, you can still see that, okay, we have all of this like sculpting artifacts and it's not refined, it's not polished yet. Some things are even not connected yet, such as the arms and the torso and the head. Usually I would retopo, and then also retopo in the mouth bag, and then kick it back to ZBrush, reproject, and then open the mouth and have topology to work with, so it will be pretty clean, and that way you can then you have a high poly retopologized high poly in ZBrush. There's a lot of technical stuff, I guess. I think I'm just gonna crack the jaw open on this one and see how it goes. So this guy has a really oblong skull. I think I want to fix that. Just a quick nudge. Because it looks odd. Inching the neck a little bit further. So you're not gonna see any of it because technically or rather the hair is marking it up. It gives us a bit more depth to work with in the back. Minor thing. So currently this is just a Damien standard that's been cracked in quite a bit. So what we can do is, I think, set up some polygroups. So I'll go out of perspective. I'll make a polygroup out of the muzzle, and as close as I can get, mask out the lower jaw. But this is going to destroy our sculpted detail for a bit. So again, usually I do this differently, but I want to test it out. See if it would save me time. Because retopologizing does take quite a bit. Okay. So now that would let us easily select lower jaw, upper jaw. So this is gonna look weird for a second. So we're gonna select the lower jaw. We're gonna choose our pivot point. Probably want to have a little bit more. Find the pivot point. then open his jaw slightly. Does this thing have a morph target? It does. I'll store a new one. Move it down. It doesn't need to be that much. I think 10 degrees is already enough. It's like a nice little number to write down and then remember afterwards, so we know if we rotate 10 degrees up again with the proper pivot, we can basically put it back to neutral. This one back into back a little bit. Now this looks really weird. And I think we're gonna, first off, we're gonna undo, because I would like, we keep it back up. Rename head neutral. Back up. With this one, we redo our history. This is going to get rid of the... We're gonna have to redynamize this, because these are just completely destroyed polygons. Like they're completely stretched. This is unusual, so we'll have to remake that. Can I use clip curve to... Hey lab code, welcome on in. Good. Yeah, welcome. We are throwing spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. So this is me. So I masked it out. I'm gonna align it and then I'm just gonna scale it back. See if we can create something of a mouth cavity like this. There's multiple ways of doing this, so we're going to see if this one works. So this is all of these polygons just pushed back. We have a semblance of a mouth, rather a mouth cavity. It's just that these polygons are unusable. So now we're gonna click Dynamesh again. There's multiple subtly. Would you like to freeze? Nope. Okay, that also immediately destroys our morph target. That's fine. Though we went from 257,000, so this is going to be 38. See what that gives us. 40. I want to keep the crispiness, so 3,000. We're just fiddling with the resolution now. Okay. So we went up a little bit. We're at 300,000 polygons now. The rest can be manual cleaned up. So get this piercing out of the way. Just rotate it down as well. Okay. Let's see, for this thing, we lost our polygroups because we dynameshed. That makes sense. So we'll set those up again, because it helps a lot to have polygroups, because this is going to be quite a bit of selection based, just to have it easy for us. Because if we want to work on the lower jaw, it's really nice if you can just hide the upper jaw, and vice versa if you need to work on the top of the mouth cavity. That you can then just work on, you can just hide the lower jaw. Sun Gekuga 658, thank you very much for the follow. Kind of want to have it run alongside with the shape of the cheekbone. Hi there, welcome on in. Hope you'll enjoy your stay. Also, hey Radiant, welcome on in. Okay. Perspective back on. Is this thing... Is it still symmetrical? Okay. Yeah, working on the face, we're giving this guy his mouth interior, so we're gonna be working on the gums, teeth, lip, and looking at the concept, he also has like a little ridge on the lips, so we'll be focusing on that today. Okay, so some initial cleanup first, just gonna make sure that the mouth bag actually had enough volume. This guy has a very thin lower jaw, so we have to make sure that we don't accidentally punch through. But we also want to have enough... I'm gonna turn some elements up because they're gonna be blocking a lot. So we don't need the mask. We don't need the hair either. This is where we get to the stuff on nightmares. This is almost biblically accurate. And let me get rid of the nose for a bit. Okay. So we'll just gently sculpt in the lower jaw. And continuously check if we are not accidentally getting too close to it. So, oh yeah, things get absolutely cursed when you start hiding partials. Okay, so this is a little trick that I use to check the depth of the chin, so we can see that we're still quite a ways away. So let me just. I'll just grab the move brush and nudge it, just so I know how close I can get without getting into danger. Okay, so that's still quite a bit. Okay, we'll do the same for the upper mouth. So yeah, I wonder what type of cursed image we're gonna get as a thumbnail for this week's video. So this is where we have to somewhat find a balance. Also, the upper lip needs to be... Okay. So this is where we'll have to do a little bit of our own inside. Because on the 2D, the concept, like you can see that the mouth corner is very sharp, you can see the thickness of the lip. And then we have the teeth that are all like really nicely lining up from that angle in the 2D concept. In 3D, wow, voice crack. In 3D, we're gonna have to figure out quite a bit to like make it all work. Because I already can kind of see that, okay, maybe the jawline needs to get tightened up a bit. Because now we actually see like thickness of it. This can get rounded. just as a put some Damien standard in there where it lips are not square, they don't have this hard edge. So the first thing that we gotta do is get rid of it. We also have to make sure we don't lose volume. A lot of thinking going on with this one immediately, so I'll try to keep my thoughts contained. At least not get the rambling. So I've done mouths like this before, so I know roughly where things should fall in the line. Since these are lips, you want them to be soft, round. You don't want like a square pinch on the back. And these lips, they do have a little bit of hang. Let's see, colors. So he has like, his lips have a different color. I also want to his lower lip has a different color. Black colors. It's better. What is that? Is that a hole? Oh yeah, that's a hole that shouldn't be there. Okay, it's a good thing that we see these things in the back now. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I do want this, like these polygons here. I do want them to be part of the mouth interior, so let's fuse them with, let's call it smooth it out a bit. Doesn't matter that we have like some jaggedness in the back. Let me get Clip Studio Paint, just so I can do my color picking again. Let's see, lips turn. Let's see, what is this color? Okay, so quite dark, a little bit of red, makes sense. It's gonna be the lip, or rather mouth interior maybe? Let's make the mouth back in its entirety. This color. Smooth out a little bit, just so we have a little bit fewer a little bit lesser artifacting going on. God, my English is on point today. Same for this. Small line here. Make sure that they align up in here. So this is what I mean with the back face. We'll fix that in a bit. Just make sure you don't actually punch through the lower jaw, because again, ZBrush does a lot of projection based, and if you have a thin surface, it will go for the polygons that are behind it. This is a quick fix. We can just color. Make sure I don't do the same thing again. So what you can do, I put it on my interface, backface auto mask. So if you have this button, otherwise it's in, I believe, brush. What was it? Oh, that's an autosave interrupting. It's fine. Brush, auto masking, backface mask, it's here as well. I just put it on my interface. If you have this enabled, these are polygons that are frontward facing towards us, towards the camera. So it registers those. It will not grab faces that are facing away from the camera, aka the one that are inside of the mouth in this case. And that's how we get it. Okay. Alright, so that's our mouth back. I'm not putting a lot of... I'm keeping it very loose, because the second you start adding the teeth and the tongue to it, odds are you're gonna have to change a whole bunch again. So that's why I'm saying, okay, this one's enough. Now we are gonna add the gums and then the tongue. So again, mental exercise. If we think about the gums, what's the most basic shape? To me, and it kind of starts as a ring, but it's only half a ring. So it does have quite a few polygons. Let me see if I can actually reduce that. So again, we've done this in the past. We go to Ring 3D, which is prefab. We go to initialize. We can adjust the radius a little bit. We are going to reduce this one back to, let's say, 20. And what I'm mainly looking forward is that we have one side that is rather where we have this horizontal cutoff point, because we're only gonna be using one half of this circle. This divide, we can put this one to 5. And then the initial twist, we set that to 45, so we have like a nice little planar a segment. Probably up the radius a little bit. Alright, cool. Grab this one. We append a new ring. And basically all that we're keeping is the bottom side. Everything else can go. This is the only thing that we want, and you can already kind of see that this follows like a jaw curvature. So we say delete hidden. Let's see, because this is not Maya, we need to find a different way to extrude this. I believe we can extrude move, his loop, and move like this. And that's the shape that we want. Okay, we're gonna insert a loop here, just so we have like a little bit of a... We have... Come on, English. When we subdivide it, we don't have some elongated polygons at the back. Crease. I should also, for the moment, close these up. And then we need two of them, so we have a lower jaw and an upper jaw. Let me give them some more space, and we'll turn this one into a different polygroup, so we can work on them independently. Alright, scale them down, move them up, place them in. And then we can already see that the angles are a bit weird. This is where we have to decide, okay. Now, you have to keep into consideration, oh, incoming ad break, okay. You have to keep in mind on how much of this is, you don't put the teeth in like this. This is not the alignment. Even though, thanks to the lips, it looks like this. The lower jaw is indeed at an angle, though the upper teeth should still be straight. So let me make these a bit thicker. So the lower jaw can indeed go down. Move them back a little bit. Just have them align with the lower jaw. While the upper jaw... Wait, hang on. I remember how we put it at 10 degrees? I think that... No, wait, that doesn't matter because the pivot's different. We're eyeballing it. And we have upper teeth. Should probably be here. Okay. Let's see, does this character have any gums showing? So then I can quickly steal the color from that. Okay, a little bit. Give me a second. fill. Alright. Okay, and we're gonna slightly tweak them. As we can see, the mouth bag needs to go further in, because we do want the back of the gums to be exposed. Okay. Let's see. This should be enough. Yeah, just so that we can see the back of the gums. And otherwise you can make the mouth bag as deep as you want. Okay, let's see. Dynamic, just as a preview. I want to have these be a little bit higher up. We have these be a little bit lower. I'm not being too precious with them being a bit curved. If anything, all these little imperfections add things to it. It makes it feel more embedded. Oh, there's an ad going on. Okay. Then looking at the concept art, we have large canines. So we have large upper canines, large lower. Are they incisors? Then it looks like the front teeth has been simplified to a strip rather than individual teeth. So that's nice, because sometimes it's difficult to get the front teeth to align, especially if they're just drawn as like little sharp teeth. Okay. Also, let's keep renaming things. So gums. Give him back his hair. Okay. So again, what are teeth? In this case, they are little cones. Though these are probably going to be too dense. So again, going 3D. Because again, we do not need this many subdivisions. If anything, that's going to give us lumpy results. So vertical divide, let's set it to 6 in this case. Divide 16. It's 8 too few. Let's do 10. Well, okay, maybe not 10, because 10 gives us a horizontal split, but I also like to have a vertical split. So let's go with 12. Now we have horizontal, vertical, or horizontal, vertical. Let's work with this one. Okay. And the first thing that we're going to do is just flip this thing. Very smooth. We're going to crease, so we keep this as an edge. This is where things get a lot of measuring, or rather, measuring is not the right word. A lot of finagling, that's a better word, Mainly because now we're gonna have this in the 2D image, everything is drawn the way it's nicely fitting and it looks like it makes sense. In 3D, having all of these teeth to line up and actually sit inside the mouth, and when you close them so they actually slide into each other, that is a different story entirely. Because when this character has his mouth closed, oh, we locked in and got soft locked. Oh no. Hi Jano, welcome on in. I'm sorry to hear that you got soft locked in that rando. But yeah, welcome on in. Let's see, let me give him his nose back. Yeah, welcome on in everyone. My name is Kenyon, I'm a 3D artist and I like to make 3D models of other people's designs, and currently we are working on the Hyena Bard by Il55. Oh, let me give you a shout out. Yeah. Yeah, Jano, thank you so much for the raid. There's a lot of you. Key Squid, thank you very much for the follow. So, Jano, I saw you do checks. What happened? What was the final check after which you realized, oh, this is it? There are no more checks to check. You did some pretty hard checks. And I believe you did not find Zora mask. I checked Cafe's quest and had not. No, sorry. Oh, Deke, thank you so much for the primes resub. 2 months. Thank you. And then after Cafe's quest, there was nothing remaining. No further. You couldn't teleport to the moon? Light. Oh no, light arrow stuck behind a light arrow door. That's unfortunate. Yeah, you did say that you were doing a no logic rando, so that was a risk. It's just sad that it had to happen like that. So yeah, then unfortunate to hear, but yeah, you still have fun. You went on for what, 11 hours? That's a huge stream. Let me continue playing dentist. Yeah, 11 hours. So if well, you should go to bed, because I don't know what your currently sleep schedule is anymore. But yeah, please go do that post-stream self-care. Go hydrate. And if you have, you probably should, please go to bed. Also, hey there, eating Hawaiian pizza. Great username. I'm gonna relax for now. Hope you have a great stream. Thank you. Yeah, we're working on the mouth interior for today, so Pronto, thank you very much for the follow. Yeah, so today we're focusing on the mouth. Get that in. So we're placing all the teeth right now, and once we have all of that, we are going to make sure everything fits. Hey Fulpin, welcome on in. So yeah, if anyone has any 3D questions, feel free to ask. I love to try and answer questions as best as I can. Let's see. Duplicate these for a time on this one, so it goes back to here. I need this one to go back to. Yep. Straighten it out a little bit again. Also, a hype train has started. Great, thank you. Still not quite sure what's causing those to trigger on Twitch these days, because they changed the thingamajigs again. Rob Bibble, thank you. Scott looks insanely good. How come I haven't heard of you? I haven't been on Twitch as a streamer for that long yet, but thank you for the compliment. This entire project has been live streamed. I'm still looking into YouTube, like getting the VODs up there so people can watch the entire process if they wish for it. One thing I'd suggest for hype train is double check your settings so to set to 2 events. Sometimes defaults for 3 for new streamers. Okay, because why did this one trigger? Because I only saw Deke use her prime resub, and I don't believe 1 is enough to trigger a hype train. Also, train of thought. Yeah, I'm trying to get all of the VODs up on YouTube. This is, I believe, session... Let me check real quick. Yeah, Hyena Bard 11, so this would be session 12. We're a little over 33 hours in on this character. Okay, so that's... eating Hawaiian pizza and Rob Bibble? Is that how I pronounce your name? Thank you very much for the follows. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Key Squid. I stream on Wednesdays. I started 45 minutes ago, which is the regular time that I start, and I tend to go for about 3 hours. So yeah, thank you very much for the compliments. It's always very nice to hear those. Okay, let me rename this. It's gonna be lower teeth. Let's see. Thank you, Deke. Why is this not mirrored? It should be mirrored. There we go. I have haven't learned how to sculpt very well, and more often than not, I make an orthographic graph and make a low poly from there. Ah, nice. Yeah, 3D takes a long time to get the results that you want. Let me phrase it like that. If like I've been doing this, yeah, I've been doing this professional for over 6 years now. I started doing 3D back in 2010, so I've been doing this for 15 years now. And as I realized that, I turned to dust. But yeah, it is so satisfying once you start like getting the results in it that you wish for. Rotate them, flatten them. Slightly outward rotation. Yeah, and there's also a billion ways to go about it. Use Blender, use ZBrush, use Maya, use Max, use whatever 3D package that you want. And there's a million ways of doing it. Like the way that I currently do teeth. So I'm currently doing them with very low polygons, so I get like smooth previews to get clean looking teeth. There's also people that will just grab a sphere and they they'll just start sculpting and pushing and pulling and carving into it until it looks like teeth. Kenyon's very chill by now. I know Kenyon was one of the best gremlins at Jano's Hollow Knight crowd control streams. Yes, I used all of my jawlers to buy all the points to make Jano sleep, to make him dash, to turn the lights off. It was a very fun stream. Okay, and then we need a little... yeah, the way that this artist drew... Hang on, does it show on this image? Yeah, so I'm using this image, and then on the right hand side you see a couple of close-ups of the face. Those are the teeth that I'm using primarily for the reference. Oh god, can you imagine a crowd control ZBrush stream? Like, hi, change your interface, change your brush. Mirror, Dynamesh, just... God, that would be very scary. Okay, so lower teeth. I'm gonna grab a cube. Yeah, sounds like it'll make the model cursed, absolutely. Ooh. I do not believe I'm brave enough to even attempt something like that. Okay, we only need these polygons, delete hidden. Yeah, we would learn so much about ZBrush, and we would learn, what's the polite way of saying it? I would learn the limits of myself for how much bullshit I can endure from a 3D program. Okay, and we will probably need a few more polygons. I only use Blender with my model stuff. I end up getting about 2,500 hours on it so far, but I still feel rather new to the program. Yeah, Blender is one of those programs, I imagine just like Maya, where there's so much in it. When I started out with that, our teachers gave us a box, like modeling a box. as a test to familiarize ourselves with the the software package. Like using the camera movement, transforming, scaling, rotating, to get all of those basic principles out there. That is something that I see quite a few new 3D artists do, is where they immediately jump into a program and they immediately try to make a character that they like really want to make, but they skip the entire familiarization step with the program, and then they get frustrated and then they quit. Curve it in a little bit. Increase polygroups. Yeah, Deke's been using Blender for over 20 years and still learning about stuff that has been in the software forever. Oh, follower goal just completed. Thank you very much for the follows, everyone. Yeah, same here with ZBrush. I keep finding new things in it where it's just like, hi, why was I not aware of this function 10 years ago? This would have saved me so much time. Front teeth. Center. Or sorry, lower front teeth. Duplicate, because again, we're trying to keep more, we try to keep a closer eye on naming conventions this program so that our scene remains clean. Oh, there's the free beans of today. Okay, so it's coming together. Honestly, a lot of me is wondering if I could be tutored by you, but I think I'm way too new here to request that. I'll have to be a bit careful about the wording here, but I do love helping people out with their 3D projects. There's multiple discords that I'm active in, there's multiple people that send me private messages from time to time to have a look at their project and see if I can like give some guidance on it from time to time. If I'm not too busy, I like helping other people. But so far it's always been like, okay, I help a handful of people. If I start to get like 20 requests from people all asking for 3D help, then I'm gonna have to start being more careful with my wordings and the offerings of them. Yeah, I can always take a look. So, I have a blue sky, little self-promotion here. Let's see, profile. So this is my blue sky account. Messages are open. Feel free to drop a chat. I'll read them when I have time. Okay, so that's the front, and we can kind of see that they are aligning with the bottom of the lip quite well. Because they really sit against the lip, though I think I can probably make that thing a bit thicker. Because lips are thicker than most people, well, most people think / people make them in 3D models. Let's do some curse stuff again, turning off some elements. Remove the upper jaw, and then we're working on the lower jaw now. Yes, Deke, I'm self-promoting my own channel. That's my blue sky. If this was YouTube, I'd be saying, what do they say on YouTube? Like, comment, subscribe, that type of stuff. Okay, so let's inflate the inside of the lips a little bit so that they're actually sitting up against the gums. Oh, upon saying that, Belucat, thank you very much for the follow. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that name correctly as we look at this. This is what happens when you start hiding parts of your model. Okay, so that's front teeth. Keep this carved in. Alright, cool. Then, yeah, you can always send me a message. And again, I'm taking this streaming serious, so unless something happens, I will be here on Wednesday afternoons, my time. So we started an hour ago and we go for 3 hours. That's the schedule I'm keeping myself to. Okay. Let's see. So that's the front teeth. Now we're gonna work on the back teeth. So this character has, let's see, 1, 2, 3 at the top, 1, 2, 3 at the bottom, and upper teeth are in front of the others. Okay, so let's see. So one of these has the others. There you are. This one, if we go back, go. Right. So I'm just using this one to recall the history, so it's a primitive shape again. Now with this, we are going to just turn this off for a second. Okay, and these are going to be like 1, 2, 3. Okay, now this is where things are starting to get messy. Also, hi. This doesn't look creepy at all. So this is where things get a little bit, yeah, it doesn't line up. So what I did earlier with the gums being completely flat, I might have to go back on my words. Because again, it's not working out, and we'll... Does this need to raise up a bit more then? As a block out, so these are... Let's see. I'll have to rename these to... What are these things called? Molars? Is that what they're called? I think so. Cool. Okay, so we have upper molars, and we duplicate, rename lower molars. Just flip them like this. Okay, so this is where it gets kinda funky. Because, okay, if we hide all of this for a split second. So these teeth should interlock somewhat. It doesn't need to be physically accurate. But I do want it to, like, I do want them to somewhat be in a position like this. I guess I can model them like this from the for starters. Give them a little bit of curvature. So you are never gonna see this, but it is good practice, and then we can rotate them down like this. They should be in the gums. So maybe these are just way too high. These should be more here. Yeah, and they should probably also go more outward. Let's see. Symmetry. Give them a little bit of an arc. Because again, these things are not going to be sitting on top of each other perfectly straight. So that when we look at it from the front, there is going to be like a little bit of visual interest. However, it does look like I missed just where they need to be a lot more forward. Because I believe cats have it, where the molars and their front teeth, that there's like quite a gap in between them. And the way that this reference is that they align with like there is no distinct gap between the teeth up in the front and the teeth in the back, so I'll adjust them accordingly. Make sure that things fit. This looks pretty big, so we'll shrink it slightly. There is probably a better way. What I probably could have done was model these things as they are like in neutral, standing on top of each other. Make sure that those shapes work and then rotate them down. Because now it's going to be a guessing game until we whatchamacallit. Now it's a guessing game until we rig this, close the mouth, and then just see it be absolutely not lining up. So, okay, we'll focus on that in a bit. For now, this looks like a good set of teeth. Let's see, so looks like these can probably be a little bit more spaced out backwards. We also need to add the tongue. So this is getting a bit too pushed forward. These go more outwards. Not sure if I mentioned it before, but your son looks really cool. Oh, thank you. It's a little Vernit gremlin. I am working on a 3D model of him. It's just somewhere far off in the back of the broom closet. Maybe that could be the next project that we can work on. Okay, so now we have to make sure that the gums actually sit around the teeth, so we're going to insert a new edge. Oh, we're going to see over here that the gums have completely detached, so we can't have that. This needs to go back down. Again, I can't wait for the thumbnail of this video to be auto-generated by Twitch. It has to be one of these cursed half-hidden images, or yeah. Because this is basically what 3D is. A whole bunch of stuff clipping through each other. Well, in the high poly at least. In the low poly, it shouldn't look like this. Yeah, thank you, the Brianator. It's always nice hearing those type of compliments. Makes me feel happy. Again, this is comedic. Alright. We'll fix the teeth in a little bit. Let's add the tongue. So again, basic question, what is the most basic shape? A tongue is just a soft cube. Let's see. So grab a cube, though this one with its wireframe, I don't like the pinch at the top. This is just a sphere mimicking being a cube. So we are going to press pen. What I do with this one is I just mask out, hit Control W, so I get a polygroup. I select that one and I just delete all of the faces that I don't need. So if I with Z Modeler extrude all polygons now, I actually get a box that we can insert edges, and now we actually have a subdivided cube. If we flatten out a bit, you might already be able to see it, because yeah, this is basically what a tongue is. It's just a thin cube. Give it a few more subdivisions. Make sure that these things are all little cubes. We have polished ones. Okay. Let's see. Now with a big brush, we can just move it around a bit. Symmetry check. Yeah. Okay, okay, it's a good thing that we do the symmetry check, otherwise we get nonsense like this. So I accidentally nudged it. Whenever something like this happens, I believe it goes from right to left. So if we move this way, and hit mirror and weld. Oh, it's the other way. Okay, that fixes that. Move this over the halfway line, mirror, and that's how you get it back. Check the top and the bottom. Alright, cool. Let's see, in this tongue. A little bit of volume. But it's not like on the drawing it's just a little shape, nothing detailed, so we're not gonna spend too much time on this one. Let's see, Clip Studio, give me a color. Some of the colors can get applied on teeth. So fill. Right. Let's see, looking at the concept. Yeah, I don't see anything too special about this one, so we're just gonna give it a center groove and then be done with it. So with Damien standard, oh wait. So this is just a smooth preview, so we're gonna have to actually give it some subdivisions. So, and sunline smooth out a little bit. And that's it. Okay. So let's look at it with a critical eye. So rename. Oh. Okay, so I think that I want to do a neutral check. Because currently this thing is in like jaw open. The jaw is lowered, and later on like this is gonna go back to neutral. So if you look at this, this is quite a difference between how much the jaw is supposed to raise. If we move this up, we can already see that this thing is absolutely going to be colliding with the upper teeth, so those are way too low. Front teeth look okay. I'm just gonna I'm gonna do a neutral check, which requires merging everything. Okay. So again, I'll make a save. So mute myself real quick as I take a sip. Okay. So what I can do, currently all of this is individual subtools. I'll just merge these because all of them are simple shapes. And I believe all of them are already set up with poly groups. So let's see. We're just gonna go merge. Merge down. Yes, I'm sure. We'll do this a few times. Okay, so now it's a singular mesh. Okay, so a couple of things that I don't like. I don't like that the gums are flowing down like this, because that's not what happens on actual gums. Right, so I'm trying to do this with brush move topology, but it doesn't always work, because when you start here, currently it's looking at a vertex that's on the teeth, not on the gum. However, if I do the regular move brush, it grabs whatever is in the inner circle of the brush, so that'll allow us to get a lot easier manipulations. So we masked out the rest. Okay. And then we can see that, okay, these things are falling apart. They are not even set in the... They're not even in the gums anymore. So this is where at the start it was all very quick and we blocked it in and everything was nice. And now we're actually having to make these teeth work, which is where the most of the time is going to be. Because it does add up. You will... It's not so much that you'll see it, but it'll feel off, where you look at the teeth and go, I don't think that's how they should work. these in a bit. Move the gums out. And then as a test, I want to see. So we're gonna need. Yeah, we're gonna need these parts. We're effectively grabbing the lower. We're effectively grabbing the lower ones. As the upper. And we're just gonna move them in as they would actually fit together in neutral. So this is where we see where things are absolutely just crashing. Okay. It being humanoid, I do believe that's upper teeth. Things. I believe that these need to close in. Come on. There's a lot of selecting, making sure that these things all... Like, I have to do quite a bit of masking just to get everything up and running. Rather to have the pieces move that I want to move. Okay. So what can we see from this? Lower teeth are probably too narrow. They're doing the cheating thing where, again, on the 2D, well, they have these large canines going more outward. Especially in the one where he looks angry, it actually looks like these teeth elongated. Like they've gotten longer. What if they go outward a bit more? Because how did it actually work with actual animals? Because that's what I should be referencing. Like, do they have like... Like, checking my own teeth here. Or at least with me, my upper teeth are sliding a little bit over the lower teeth. Let's see. Yeah, on the grin there is definitely there is space between upper and lower teeth. This one flares out a bit. Teeth are weird. And very difficult to get them line up right. Okay, and then these things absolutely do not align, so freeform them a little bit. Just have them interlock a lot tighter in neutral. Because then at least we'll know that for when the mouth, or rather when the jaw goes down, that they will actually interlock properly. Don't want it to look thin like this. So it's only the base that's going to be thinner. Oh, Sky the Fanboy 19, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome on in. Right, same for the upper teeth. Oh, don't change the gums. Let's see. Just make sure that they don't need to be entirely formed like whatchamacallit, where they're completely like one-on-one. As long as they have like a little bit of the interlocking look, then they'll pass the test. So I think I should just make these gums a whole lot thicker, because otherwise we're gonna get really thin, fragile teeth. And what was it? It was like an article about which animal has the biggest like jaw strength. Hyenas being up there, because apparently they need to be able to like bite through clean bone and everything. Or bite through bone cleanly. There we go, sentence structure. So little organic hydraulic presses is what these jaws basically are. So I'm just gonna make these gums a bit thicker. Just so that we can make the base of the teeth a lot thicker. And again, I'm doing this all just on very low geometry, so that when it subdivides, it kind of smooths it. You get really nice smooth shapes. Let me. If I do polish by feature, it's like 1. Kind of rounds itself out. That's nice. I use the inflate brush a bit just to get it, increase it as a whole. Alright, I'd say that's a good pair of chompers. Gotta make sure that this goes in. Small little inflate tweaks. think I think this canine we're just gonna have it protrude quite a bit. So then we're gonna adjust the gums. Probably want to move it up a bit. So you can, yeah, so if we look at it from here, you can just see the upper lips, or rather the upper teeth. And now we're just gonna push the lower teeth down. Open. Third, let's grab roughly here and then move it down. So see what this is getting all the issues? Doesn't quite line up. Or rather, it lines up at the top of the mouth. Then here at the lower jaw is just punching through, so we'll have to fix that. It's just too far down. Because this all depends on where we put the pivot point of the jaw. If we put it far closer, it does have a small impact on it. I'm not quite sure where the rotation part would be. I think roughly here. Because again, on a human skull, because I've worked on that multiple times, I know where a human's jaw rotation point is, but for fantasy characters like this, it's a bit of a stretch. I think if we put it here, this looks like... I think this is going to give us a nice result. Good. Now we just need to clean up the gums, because again, they cannot puncture through, so we'll just nudge them in and no one's going to notice. Nobody tells, nobody knows. You would not believe some of the tricks that people put into 3D models just to make it work. Yeah, I've seen models that have, you know, those like, it's even bigger than anime eyes. It's where the eyeballs are absolutely huge, where they, if you would have not put a deformer in, they would crash out the top of the skull. So I've seen people put deformation constraints on those, so they would actually not punch through the. It would not punch through the top of the skull. Okay. Does this look right? I think I want to push this forward just a little bit. Again, if this doesn't work, we can always go back and adjust it, but I do believe that this, for now is a good result. Back in the mouth. Do want to make sure that we keep seeing the gums. Push this down. We don't want the mouth back to intersect with the gums too much, because it does make a small difference. For example, if in a production, if this character were to do like a scream or something where it completely opens his mouth, and you would see the teeth rather than going into gums, it would just clip into like the dark polygons of the mouth back. That's an immersion breaker. We don't want those. Okay, so I'm gonna have to turn this off for a split second. Come on. There we go. Turn it off for a split second. Punch it in. Turn off the hair for a second. Like really punch it in. This looks incorrect. What happened here? Okay, so this got too wide. Oh, probably when I was nudging it in. Yeah, probably happened when I was nudging it in for the lower jaw. Same for the upper mouth, or rather the roof of the mouth. We want a nice curvature where it looks like they are embedded. Let's see. And make sure that this shape also like we... Hey Yonut. Oh, is that a Dorito? E. We do want the top of the what do you call that part? The roof of the mouth. It does have shape to it, and we do want to mimic that. So yeah, just hiding some parts of this. We can see that this has some weird dimples and valleys to it, and we don't want that. So gotta make sure this is also in check. We will probably come back to this later on when we actually have topology, because then it's fewer. Like we'll have fewer polygons. We have more. We can do a cleaner job at it. Now I think this is good. Thank you very much for the Dorito, and thank you for the compliment. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. now it's gonna activate everything. Great. You out. Wear your clothes. There they are. These can be turned off, and there's a floor here somewhere. Floor check. Okay, and head neutral back up. Yeah. Okay, slight cleanup with an H polish brush. And then with standards, we do want to keep this. There's a little bit of skin flap. I want to keep around. That's not how it fixes cheekbone. Oh, you're drawing a new ref sheet? That's always fun. Okay, so let's say that is the mouth blocked out. Okay. Make sure that this is also clean. We'll go for it with a light H polish brush to get that planar feel back. I do want to keep this. This has to be the clear border between, okay, this is what's outside and this is what's like the edge of the lips. So I do want to have there be like an actual carved border in there. Vector Vibes, thank you for the follow. That was a few minutes ago. And Lisek89, thank you very much for the follow. Very much appreciated. Okay. Oh, and auto save. Thank you, ZBrush. Okay. Looking at the character, we have. What should we do next? We look at the concept, so the pants are in a better state, still not final. The shirt needs a cleanup pass. The skull on his left arm needs another pass. What should we work on next? Give me a second. Doing a quick hydrate. Oh, and oh wait, this is the old body. Yeah, this is it. All right. Yeah, this new shoulder. This shoulder pad also needs to have like a pass. It's still very much block out. Do I want to do an easier pass, or do I want to tackle one of the bigger elements? Or does anyone in chat have any preferences of which element they'd like to see next? So we can either do the shoulder pad, we can do the skeletal arm. I should make these belts a bit more square, but that also includes changing the bicep slightly. I were to H polish that a bit. Does anyone in chat have any preferences for which element they'd like to see next? Or is chat just vibing and we're like, okay, we're okay with whatever is gonna come next? I think I'll do the shoulder pad next. Okay. So again, as with previous elements, this is a hard surface element. I think I want to get some nice clean topology on this one, so yeah, you know the drill. We append, also let me quickly make a little group for this. New folder, mouth interior. That have teeth, gums, and then the tongue goes in there as well. We'll just put that somewhere here. We'll put it over here. So again, a little bit of scene hierarchy. It's getting a little bit messy, but it's still workable. Okay. So let's see. We are going to need a Z-sphere because we're going to be doing some retopology on this thing. Let's see. We're gonna. We don't need the hair. We don't need body. I just need that. Yeah. I just need to be able to see this piece from all sides at the moment. So we go back here, we say topology, edit topology, and now we can draw. So, let's see. Oh. So we're drawing some topology over this one. We're going to keep it very loose. I want to make sure that I have this point. Oh. I mean, I think I can just model. Alright. I'm gonna keep this flat, and then I'm just gonna extrude it. So I'll have an equal distance among all parts, and then we'll adjust it from there. So we say adaptive skin. We do not use Dynamesh. Density 1 preview. Make adaptive skin. So that gives us this. Just a couple of polygons and that's all we need. Push it into the main scene. We can get rid of the Z-sphere, we no longer need it. And we are going to append, or rather we're going to paste. Let's see. That's a shirt backup, we don't need that one. Bring the body back. And the hair. Okay. Give it a quick color. Oh, RGB intensity needs to be at 100. go. Now we're going to extrude it. And again, it's inverted normals, we don't want that, so we flip. Morph. Oh. It still thinks that there's morph targets in here, but that's incorrect. Alright, flip. Let's see, now we have to match up the previous sculpt again. So, yeah, the extrusion is faster. If I would have to hand draw this topology, odds are there's going to be technical quirks slipping in. So to me, this is faster. Yeah, this also have to make it slightly bigger because we lost a little bit of volume. So this is something that I occasionally see happen in, I occasionally see this happen in my own sculpts, and I see this also happen a lot with beginners. Where they will start refining, and with refining they will keep chipping away at the sculpt and make things smaller and smaller and smaller. Until eventually you zoom out again and then you notice, oh wait, I lost proportions. So it's always a good idea to zoom out from time to time. Yeah, zoom out, and at some point in ZBrush I don't think you can do it. Flip your canvas. What I like to do from time to time is flip my models upside down, just to get a new perspective. Now it's a little bad. Make sure it doesn't intersect, because this is metal. It sits on top of the shoulder, it can't clip through. And there should be some creases in here from time to time. We'll add them manually. Crease, there we go. Checking the ref. so it doesn't look like this one's creased, so we will have to manually get rid of this page by moving this back a little bit. This one should absolutely be creased. Checking curvature. Again, I did it again where I just polymodeled it and with a subdivision, letting the subdivisions clean it up. So if I were to smooth preview up to level 5 and then make sure that our creases, rather than being kept all the way to level 15, we're gonna keep to level 3. So we have like a little bit of a soft side. This one might be a little bit too soft, so crease 4. Yeah. I'm gonna add a few edges here, so just to see what it does. While we're in smooth preview. Just so that the polygons have a little bit more hold on. Probably I want to make this and now to follow the shape language, where this one, or rather in the concept art, we can see that this one is also, it's not a straight line, so this one should be curved inward slightly. Oh, Flyzik coming in. Thank you so much for the raid, Flyzik. Welcome on in. How was your stream? What were you doing? Oh, you were also doing art. What were you working on? More texturing? Idle Lion Raid, say hi. Hi, hello raiders, welcome on in. My name is Kenyon, I'm a 3D artist as well, just like Flyzik. And we are working on this Hyena Bard. Up here you can see that the 2D concept, it is made by Il55. I do not claim any credit for making this awesome 2D art piece. I'm the person making the 3D interpretation of it. And this is what we have so far. Front, back. And then we also have been working on the axe, which is here. So yeah, this is the project so far. Hopping in to support my 3D bestie. Gotta go to bed because I work in 7 hours. Oh no! Thank you very much for raiding in, Flyzik. I'll take good care of your. I'll take good care of the raiders. No, you go to bed and get those 7 hours of sleep. Yeah, thank you very much for the raid, and I'll see you next time. So yeah, welcome on in. If anyone has any 3D questions, feel free to ask. I'll see if I can address them on stream. Or if you have any questions about the project, I'm always open for them. Okay, let's see, checking multiple angles. I think this shape looks pretty clean. Okay, maybe not entirely certain about this one. So here it's like a nice groove, and here it's more of an S. Let's see if we can also make that into a C curve. And definitely clean it up here at the bottom. Hang on, I did give him a shout. Yeah, I did. Also, DriftKing64, thank you very much for the follow. Let's see, because this thing also has a little bit of color, or rather a little bit of rust. Let me quickly add that. So I can get rid of this one. Keep this one. Gotta keep a close eye on making sure that it doesn't intersect with the model underneath. Hang on. Oh wait. Yeah. Okay, I completely forgot about this functionality. So you know how like you can change visibility per per subtool. You can also save different layouts. So if we go to V2, everything is disabled except for this one. And now we can just enable the shirt, make sure that we only have these two and not be distracted by anything else. Make sure that this not intersecting. So now it sits on top, and now rather than having to like toggle the visibility of every subtool again, we just go back to version 1, which has everything enabled. I completely forgot about functionality. This is like a pretty neat feature that they added at some point. Okay, let's see. We are going to need to apply the high poly. We're committing. Polish once or twice. And now we have to add a little bit of poly paint, so we do a quick color grab. We'll put that back in there. Color C. So it's a bit of a yellow. Now we're just gonna have it be on RGB mode, and then we'll quickly paint in a little bit of the borders, just so we have like a little bit of visual. What's the word? A little bit of visual interest. later on. This is all gonna be redone in Substance Painter. We'll have things such as curvature maps, curvature and cavity maps is almost the same. We'll have a lot of utility maps that will help us get some really nice clean results. But for now, this will do. Alright, cool. There is a letter sleeve underneath it, and looking at it, I can probably bump the silhouette of it by a lot more. So currently it is just this little bit of it's only a few polygons, so it's very easy to manipulate. So I do believe I want this to be more pointy. So let's make sure that we have a few more edges flowing towards it so we get that shape. Make sure it doesn't clip with the body underneath it. I think I really want to have this poke out a bit. Nope. And again, there are the beans. Alright. Make sure that a little bit of curvature to it. No clipping. Okay. Let's see. This one I'm gonna extrude manually, so Dynamics is not gonna get any subdivisions. We will extrude manually. We will do all polygons. Flip. Because it's this little edge here that's starting to poke downwards, and we really want this to remain flat. Okay. Crease it up. Keep it up to level 3. 3. So I'm on subdivision level 4 now. 8,000. I probably need more. Because if we do some Damien standarding on it to imply cloth folds, we can still see that we have tessellation, so we want more. Probably want to get the orb crack brush for this one. Brush, orbs, orb crack. Just so we have like a little bit of a cleaner fall off. And where would this cloth pinch towards? Probably in this direction, because it's like getting a little bit stuck in the armpit. Probably want to have something that goes along the line of the bottom as well. It's like, again, I'm still learning how to like properly convey stylized cloth. Everything does needs to have like a sense of weight to it. Now with cloth, cloth definitely has like there are certain folds that will always keep appearing, like what, like such as like the Z fold, the X fold, and the Y fold. Having compression folds like this, I think this might be for some visual interest. Get like a Y in there. Maybe an X. No, that reads as compression, and this thing is hanging. Alright, we take it back. We don't do anything with it for the moment. Maybe something else at a later date. Have it hang like this. Because there is shoulder underneath it. Oh, hey Nadeski, welcome on in. Sorry I didn't see you earlier, or sooner. I was in flow. Yeah, welcome on in. Hope you're having a good day. So it looks like there's like some tension going on underneath it. Because he has really pointy shoulders. Okay, what could be next? We're gonna tackle this big thing. This lump of clay. I think we should at this point. Like it's again, doing the evaluation pass, everything on this character has a polish pass. It's the skull that's currently lacking. So we have roughly 45 minutes remaining. Let's see how we can do. Let's see how we can deal with this. But again, this thing needs to look a lot more planar, and probably should adjust the. It should probably adjust the proportions of it as well a bit. If we look at the distance. Look at the distance between where the horn is in relationship to the edge of the skull, that should be way thinner. Okay, now, did this thing... Oh wait, hang on, we haven't saved in a while. Okay, object saved. Does this thing have a stager? Such. It does. Nice. Also, this immediately shows that we have. This needs to get fixed. Fish Tiger, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome on in. So this is not gonna come up. But I do believe that we need to at least punch this in so that it won't give any issues. Later on. Gently smush them underneath because there is an actual skull on top of it. Alright, so I recall there being something off about this thing, where if we switched stages that it started acting funky. So make little edits like this to it. Is it going to crash once I do this? Switch stage. It is. Where does it end up? Oh. So I don't know what causes this. Hey Ilianos, welcome on in. So I don't know what causes this because if we don't make edits to it, rather if we undo a couple whiles. So this is the function of switch stage, where you give it a home and a target, and you can swap between them. So the idea is you put it on the world origin, you can do symmetrical edits to it, and then you switch it back to where it should be. Except for some reason, this thing isn't working. So, I don't know why. I'm not gonna try to bug fix this live on stream because then I think there's more interesting things to look at. So we'll just roll with the punches. So I'm just gonna, hang on, if I do copy paste, does that make like an actual copy paste of it? Left arm skull. I'll just do it like this. So we'll just have two separate subtools. So we'll have left arm skull placed. We'll have not duplicate, delete. We'll have left arm skull world space. So we'll work on it on world space. We'll have a duplicate that we are going to keep as reference for the eventual spacing again. and we're just gonna work on this one for a while. Because this thing is a mess. So we know that this curvature does add up for the like the wrist. It fits on the wrist. Excuse me. It fits on the wrist, though we have proportion issues. So looking at it, it does look like, oh, how about we don't have a focus shift of -60? -30 is enough. First things first, get some planar elements in here again. So with the H polish brush, really punch in those flat planes again. And then we have quite a deep carve here. Oh, hey Ritter, welcome on in. Thank you for dropping by to say hi. Hope you had a good night's sleep. Let's see, this... Yeah, it really feels like this needs to be a lot more curved. This coming up. Oh, we're gonna do a thing again where we go to a different visibility setting so that now the only thing is visible is the skull, so I can work on it in peace without accidentally flipping over to a different, or rather blocking it. You have to be at the dentist in 40 minutes. No. Oh no. Alright. It's a good thing to hear you had an acceptable amount of sleep, and good luck at the dentist. We all love going to the dentist. This does not look right. Get high marks at the dentist. I think it's a bad thing if you get high marks from the dentist. It's like, congratulations, you have 8 cavities. Please come back in 2 weeks. God, no, I am not a fan of the dentist. My next appointment is in February. Dental exam. No, thank you. I did not. What was it again? At some point there was like a job convention or like one of those orientation days at schools, and it was like, "Hi, would you like to become a dentist?" It's like, no, thank you. I do not want to work on other people's teeth. That is not my thing. And I say this working on a huge skull trying to figure out the teeth. So I guess there's some connection. Maybe, you know what? Maybe somewhere out there is a dentist, and they would be a tremendous 3D artist. They would be able to just sculpt teeth within minutes. It would look amazing. Why model 3D when you can model teeth IRL? I mean, this is something that I looked into, because getting a job in the game industry is quite rough. But there's also plenty of 3D jobs out there that are far less glamorous, but are probably a lot better paying. It's the medical 3D stuff. It's visualizing medical procedures, so you can show a patient of, oh hey, yeah, when we're gonna extract your tooth, here's a little video of the procedure so you can calm down, or at least know what's gonna happen. Same for like, uh, I don't know, bones or what happens inside the body. All of that these days have 3D visualizations. All of that has all of that requires a 3D artist that will actually visualize it for you accurately. Uh, these days, there's people that have operations where they need to, like, congratulations, you have bone cancer. We're gonna have to extract that bone, and we're gonna replace it by a piece of synthetic bone that is 3D printed. Congratulations, you need a 3D artist again. I tried looking for jobs like that, I couldn't find them. I don't know where they're hiding. Because it would be pretty cool if I could work on like pieces of skull and bone and have that 3D printed and then actually put in another human being. That would be pretty neat. I need focus. Though I have been talking to a few people, and I might actually have or rather, I've been invited for a job interview that'll be next week, Thursday. Um, that might lead into a 3D job, and I also have a company that I performed an art test for that I'm hopefully hearing back from later this week or early next week. Yeah. So hopefully I'll be able to. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to have a day job again soon. Because that would be pretty cool. Okay, let's see. This is wibbly wobbly. We don't want that. I'm just gonna bump up the resolution by quite a bit. So we go from 50k to 150k. Hey Galen, welcome on in. You will use your vast array of psychic power to help me get a job by wishing really hard at it. Thank you very much, Galen. Like manifesting. Yes, we like manifesting things. Because on some level, I do believe it works. Because like actively engaging with others, telling what you want, and then the amount of leads that I've gotten in the past about jobs, quite a few of them are over Discord from old friends and old coworkers. Like, hi Kanyan, this company is currently looking for a 3D artist, and I heard that you're looking, so here's a link. So, yeah, telling other people that you're looking or like trying to manifest something, uh, it kind of also informs other people that like, hey, network, your network is helping you. So let's see. This nose has a wacky shape. But one way or another, notice friends' dreams coming true surprisingly often. Just wait for your ticket to be drawn. Yeah. As long as we all just keep working on things, uh, keep working on things, keep talking to each other, like be a little community and helping each other out by like passing along messages and information and heads up for jobs. We will all make it eventually. But yeah, it can take a grueling long time before your ticket gets drawn, and it sucks. But yeah, when that moment arrives, grab it with both hands. Like, do not hesitate. And also, I'm sorry to hear that, Ilianos. Having a micromanaging boss or team lead, yeah, no, that ain't fun. Okay, let's see. We have mines. Okay, so how does this shape work? Because in the 2D, okay, this goes in, this goes out. This is nose bridge. This is flat. Rather, this entire piece is flat. It's just that they put a line there for articulation. God, this is such a bizarre shape. And I don't think it entirely works in 2D either, because they put some lines in there. They have like a line that goes like this. This gets flattened out as well. This just kind of flows into each other, cheating a little bit. This is a ridge. So kind of like this. Make sure that this line remains consistent. Let's see. This kind of flows into the lower teeth. Oh wait, this is continuous. Alright, so this needs to go up. Better. Okay, now we're starting to get some of the planes in. Okay. This is definitely the highest point. Okay, I should be adopting this masking workflow a lot more. Okay, and we have this shape that's like flowing next to the tooth. Yeah, that's working. I want to have this be on lasso so I can like draw shapes quicker. Okay, that's getting there. Let's see. 20 minutes remaining. Let's see if we can get this thing to a good part. Because that'll take... yeah, that'll definitely help for the setup for next week. Let's see, this... have that part fused. It's getting there. And then we forgot about a little details, like there appears to be a little bolt up top. Probably to imply that that is how it's being secured. Alright, so we should definitely add that. Alright, take care Ritter. Good luck at the dentist. Alright, thank you. The streams have been going pretty well, I'll say. Like, I do feel like I'm finding the flow a lot easier. Chat has been extremely courteous and friendly. Hang on, let me knock on wood. So far we haven't had any bad actors yet. Though I also suppose that because I have a blocked term list going on in the background, so yeah, some messages cannot even get through, for which I'm very happy. Now watch me get a very creative one within now and 5 minutes. Right, let's see. Just polish this up a bit more to make sure that we don't change this part in the back, because we know that this already fits quite well with the like the vambrace that's underneath it. Okay, so what do we have? We have a very lopsided bolt. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna guess that they meant like a 6-sided bolt on that one. Because luckily, we already have one of those. It's right here. It's also 500,000 polygons, so like the reason why this thing is so dense is because we have an alpha here. Maybe I can recreate that one and just model it in. I think that might be a nice little exercise. Because again, 500,000 for 2 bolts. I dare say I can do that a little bit optimized, because currently we're sitting at 27 million. Like my PC needs a second to think whenever it saves this file, and I don't want to go that far into that territory. So what if we were to think about this for a second? So what if we, no, not a cone, need my cylinder, initialize, and I would like vertical subdivisions 0, or the minimum, which is 3. Horizontal divide, let's put this one to 6. We can get our hexagonal shape quite easily. It's that inset in the center that's going to be a little bit more tricky. So let's see. This is just a test. 15 minutes. So pent, cube. I'm going to work in this axis. Okay. So what we can do is quite easily create this one. Give it one inset of this polygroup. And now we need this to be rounder, because now it's just a perfect inset and we don't want that. So what we could do is go local symmetry. We'll enable mirror, no, not mirror. Let's see, because you can do mirror in X, and that's what we've been doing for quite a while. Where is it? God, it's been ages. Where is? I thought transform was in here. Oh yeah, activate symmetry, and we've only ever been doing it in X. What if we also add Y? So now when we start changing things, See, I need to get rid of this cross because we don't want polygons to... We don't want polygons to like all go to this point. So delete edge. Okay. It is going to cry a little bit. Pinchico, thank you very much for the follow. Let's see, insert single edge. Oh yeah, that's okay. Okay, there's a little knowledge check that I threw on myself. Can I... I just want this part for now. Oh. That is not invert. Yes. Hang on. Hidden. This, yes, hidden. We subdivide once without smoothing. Just so I have like these edges in the middle. We double. So we have these edges that are now perfectly in the middle. Those are the ones that we want. We are going to extrude move all of them. Mesh contains multiple subdivisions. That's logical. But again, thank you very much, Rinchiko. Let me know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly or if I should put the emphasis somewhere else. That is. There we go. Alright. Now we do this one more time. Or rather, now we just got a bridge. So if I... Let's see... This is probably the most convoluted way of doing it. Yeah, and now we have this, which is an angon. I just want an edge that goes horizontal, so can we mirror in Y? We can, cool. That's the shape that we want. Let me mirror in Z as well, so it's capped off. Sweet. Alright, and now we can back to our transform, go back to activate symmetry, and now we can round this out a little bit. Extrude polygroup, extrude it inwards. Scale it a little bit, or rather slide. Because again, you do not, in 3D, or rather in real life, very few things are perfect 90-degree angles. If you have perfect 90-degree angles, odds are your normal map bakes are gonna get messy later on, because you are calculating information that goes perfectly in one direction and then immediately into a, like, the angle is too big. There's this edge is not gonna have fun. However, if you slide it a little bit, um, you don't put yourself in that situation. So now, like from a distance, it looks like it doesn't look like it's actually going inward. Rather, I don't, come on, brain, English, like 5 more minutes. It's good to have like a little gradient, or a little not 90-degree angle. God, I am bumbling on the English all of a sudden. Right, so we'll just pinch this in a little bit. I feel like this can be longer. Now we want the back to flare out a bit. So, oh, we also put it on this side. We don't need that. So what if we just delete this? Delete hidden. And now we can just cap this. So extrude, polyloop. It's gonna extrude it inwards. That's not exactly what we want. Or what is this? Oh, it's an extrude. Alright, it goes outward, but that doesn't matter. We bridge. And we mirror in one once again. We'll just use Gizmo to flatten this one out again, and we are going to scale it up slightly. This is not what should be happening. Is it also happening at the front? No. Okay, so some of it's happening due to creases, but it also looks like this if these are two things, so we need to stitch. Okay. Now we can just uncrease. Or rather, uncrease all, crease polygroups, crease these again. Alright. Cool, so here we have a bolt that is, if we were to apply our dynamic, it's only 1,000. few extra spans. No, not there. Increase level 3. I think I actually want to scale this ever so slightly. Just so it's like not perfect. Like a little bit of curvature to it. Cool. Alright. We are gonna... Alright, so again, this was more of a small test of myself of can I actually poly model this in ZBrush? Like have I gotten comfortable enough with the Z modeler tool so I can just poly model this, and I'd say the answer is yes. So cool. So Exabolt world space. I'm gonna duplicate this one. I need to turn off Y. We no longer need it. X also goes out the window. A little bit of a scale so it adds up. And now duplicate this one here. We commit. We hit polish like once or twice. Cool. And with that little trick, these things are 180,000. The other bolts were 500,000. Small difference. I'll delete these, yes, and now we use these. Extra bolts. Hold them. Put them in the folder. I'm gonna put one of these in the skull, and then that should be fine. Oh, hey Deke, you finally got your neighbors recorded with the noise. Okay, cool. Vital information that it's about a noise complaint, not like something else you want to record your neighbors with. Okay, let's see, this thing is... Yes, go get him. Like hell, one of my noisy neighbors also finally left. Because, my god, just a little point of order for everyone who lives in a city. If you live in a city and you decide to get parrots, please train them to be quiet, or at least not have them shriek their heads off 24/7 and then have them live in an apartment building with 10 other people. It's not that fun. It's like having months of having a parrot be your alarm clock rather than your actual alarm clock. But that's a point for that's for a future stream to maybe talk about. Okay. Hexabolts. Skull. So color fill, because these things are gold. Embed a little bit. I'm gonna mirror and weld. Mirror and weld in the. Oh wait, local symmetry. So it's down here. So we only want X mirror and weld. There we go. Cool. Because these are two separate subtools. This is just for visualization. We are not committing to this. They can probably be a little bit bigger. Oh. Local symmetry, scale up. Why are you sliding? Why are you doing that? Symmetry X only, that's why. Okay, so it looks like it's embedded. Merge down. Because again, this is just for visualization. We'll put this one on the arm, just to see what it looks like. We need to find someone to raid, because this is where we'll be calling stream for today. Turn this one off. Hey, look at that lock cleaner. Nice. I'm proud of that one. Alright. Turn these bolts off. Okay. So let's do again quick comparison. So saving scene. Alright. Loading previous tool. Okay. So this is what we had last week. And this is the progress of this week. So again, we're getting to the point where our progress, it looks like we have diminishing returns. Like you look at these, there's barely any difference. But it's cleaning up. So we cleaned up the lower arm skull. We gave him a mouth bag with teeth in it, and we cleaned up the little shoulder cloth, and we gave him a clean shoulder pauldron. And as a test, we did a hexagon bolt modeling. So that's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. For a 3-hour session, I'm proud of that. So, alright, let's find a raid target, see who we can go say hi to. So let's see, following list. Who do I see? Who do I see? Let's see, any 3D folk? Nope. I do see Volpin. Let's go say hi to Volpin again. So let's see, /raid. Alright, a raid has been created. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. There's quite a few in here. Jano, Flyzik, thank you very much for the raid-ins. I hope everyone had fun here. I do this for now once a week on Wednesdays, 3 hours. And we work on this project, we work on this little guy. We're closing in on finalizing the high poly. After that we will go into more technical steps such as retopology. If you'd like to see more, feel free to hit follow. If you'd like to see more of me outside of Twitch, you can find me here on Blue Sky. And with that, yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. It is very much appreciated that a lot of people are showing interest in this. And then I would like everyone to... hang on, we need a raid message. We need the classic good vibes. So if you're subscribed, you can use my emotes. If you have other emotes with hearts in it that you'd like to use, feel free to use that. Or if you have channel points, you can use that to unlock my emote temporarily. And then this message that we're gonna say in Volpin's chat.